I mean, we attorneys get paid to argue, and sometimes our arguments are going to cross a line. Now, a great example is sports. For you baseball fans out there, have you seen the team managers in baseball kind of get out of the dugout and start arguing with the umpire face to face? Little spittles, a spit going back and forth. It's kind of disgusting, but they do it. It's all on TV. I'm just saying. Well, you know when that baseball umpire gets real dramatic and then just says, "You're out of here," just throws that guy out. Oh, you wonder, like, what line did he cross? What could he have possibly said? Well, the baseball rules say you can argue that was an effing ball, that was an effing strike, that was a horrible call. That's fine. You can curse all you want and say that. Where you get thrown out, though, is when you start saying, you are an a-hole. You are an effing this and that. You direct it at the you're out. So you have to be very careful how you argue. And this happens in court all the time. Be careful how you argue. I'm going to give you an example. There's so many examples, but who has the time to go through all this? There's this guy convicted of drug trafficking. 30 years in prison was his sentence. Jean Simone versus State. That's the case. Anyway, and Jean Simone borrowed his friend JJ's rental car. And guess what? There's a trafficking amount of drugs in JJ's rental car. So at trial, Jean Simone takes the stand. Hey, I just borrowed this car from JJ, and there's a boat ton of trafficking drugs in there. I had no idea. But the prosecutor's like, oh, well, why didn't you bring JJ in to tell us that these are his drugs? Where is JJ? Why didn't you call him? He's your friend. You borrowed his car. Couldn't you bring him into court? There's a problem here. That prosecutor crossed the line. And the prosecutor must have forgot that this is the United States of America. And who has the burden of proving criminal cases? Not Jean Simone. The prosecutor has the burden. So several times during this trial, you got this prosecutor jumping up and down to the jury. Why didn't he bring JJ here to say the drugs were his? Because that's not the law. No citizen has to go prove their innocence. We don't have to do anything. The government has to do the work. Jean Simone can sit there during trial, play with his phone, scroll, take a nap. I recommend none of that. Act like you actually care about your future. So this was illegal for the prosecutor to even suggest that Jean Simone had some sort of burden to have people show up in court and start saying that stuff was theirs, because no such burden exists. The appellate court saw this, said, oh, hell no. This 30-year prison sentence, gone, done. Overturned the verdict, sent the case back down to the trial court. Actually, they didn't retry the case. I checked it out after Jean Simone won his appeal and got his 30 years thrown out. He got 7 years on a plea deal rather than the 30. It's a beautiful thing. And these are lines that, unfortunately, prosecutors cross all the time. You got to watch them like a hawk and make sure that they're following the law to a T.